welcome to another Casio Watches showcase video. First things first, as always, if you haven't joined us over on our Facebook group Casio Watches, please come and check us out. A huge thanks to all the new members that have joined recently. I've been uploading videos a little bit more frequently over the last few weeks because I'm at home more often, and in that time we've gained just over 200 new members in just under 2 weeks. I'm delighted with how things are moving forward with the Facebook group, so please come and check us out, and as always remember to answer the 2 membership questions when you submit your membership entry. So today we're going to have a look at the Casio AE-1200WH, or as it's more commonly referred to, the Casio Royale. Now, just to clear something up, lots of people think that this watch is called the Casio Royale because Daniel Craig wears it or something similar in Casino Royale. And if you Google Daniel Craig Casio Royale or Casino Royale Casio watch, anything like that, you'll get some photoshopped images of Daniel Craig sitting there with his tuxedo on and a watch that looks like this photoshopped underneath his sleeve. In fact, it's got nothing to do with Daniel Craig wearing this watch. We need to head back to 1983 actually, to the Bond film Octopussy, when Roger Moore starred as James Bond, and in that film he was wearing a very unusual watch by today's standards, let alone in the 1980s, and that was the Seiko G757 5020. Now that watch and this watch bear very strong resemblances to each other. So this watch in many ways is a homage of that watch, and if you go and Google that watch you'll see how similar the features are. The shape of the screen around here, which I'll talk more about later on, the fact that it's got this circular part to the screen, and in particular this black face around the silver edge with the little sunken dots in the top corners and the bottom corners. So that's where the James Bond link is with this watch, because you know, if you've watched other videos, I always like to link the watches I'm showcasing to any films that they've appeared in or any celebrities that wear them. On my Casio Giro video I even managed to link in Bill Gates, so there we go. So let's have a look at this watch in a little bit more detail. Now first of all, you can pick this watch up brand new for just under £30. It's on the Argos website at the moment. I believe it's an almost identical price, something like $29.99 on Amazon as well. If you don't want to get them brand new, you can still get a really good quality example for around about £22 off eBay. But again, for the price difference, you might just want to grab a brand new one. I don't mind shopping on eBay, having a little look around, and I actually picked this up off eBay, and I think I paid £24 including postage for it. So what you'll see when you first take this watch out the box, it's an impressive looking piece, but it's very light. That's because although there is a steel strap on it, the watch case itself looks like it's made out of steel, like the strap, but it isn't. It's actually made out of resin that's painted silver. It's a very light watch, so it's great on the wrist because it doesn't weigh you down. But if you're paying £30 and expecting to get a really heavy chunky watch when you open that box, you're going to be a bit disappointed. However, I wouldn't think that anybody spending £30 on a watch like this would expect that. So it's comfortable to wear, and the strap itself has some really clever adjustment pieces on it. You can remove links very easily, and there's videos on YouTube to tell you how to do that. Incredibly easy to remove the links, but there's also some micro adjusters which I'll show you later on when I take the watch off this display stand, and the micro adjusters are brilliant for people with a slim wrist like myself. I took some links out and it still wasn't quite right. I adjusted it using the micro adjusters, wore it for a day, still not perfect, so the next morning I made some more adjustments and it fits me brilliantly now. So those micro adjusters are a great little feature that Casio included on this watch. So get my trusty pencil out again. Now when I first purchased this, I actually bought it with the intention of modding it, because the Casio Royale, the AE-1200, is one of the most modded Casio watches out there, and it's very easy to do so. And one of the things that many people do with this watch is they go for the clean look. So they remove all of the text here and here, take the watch apart and remove all the text on the inner case here on this inner dial piece, but that's what I intended to do. It's very easy to do that, but actually when I got the watch in my hands, I actually decided to keep it as it is, because one of the things that drew me to Casios previously was I like that over the top way they advertise all the features of the watch. So as you can see on here, it's telling us that it has an illuminator, of course. It's a world time watch, which we'll talk more about afterwards. It has a 10-year battery life, 5 alarms, and then the normal modes and buttons are highlighted around the side. Even the water resistance to 100 meters there. So lots of people remove those. Quite a simple mod to do, but I decided to keep it because I really fell in love with the watch as it is when I took it out of the box. Next, we have a look at the screen itself. Now, very unusual, this watch has this almost reverse L shape to it around here. So we've obviously got the digital time displayed and the main part of the face, but then a rather nice little feature is ticking its way around here is the analog format of the same time. Now this has a particular feature, it's not just there for the sake of it, the digital and the analog display in the two parts, and I'll explain that later on when I talk about the world time. So we've also got this really cool world map displayed up here, which actually has digital movement on it when we go through the world time feature. And then this little bar up here, that's pretty blank for most people who wear this watch. It does display the mute mode when you turn the sound off, and also the signal for when you have it beeping every hour or anything else like that. That's displayed up here, but on mine you can see it's blank. Another thing that some of the modders do is they cut away these two horizontal bars and have a cleaner look going through there. Again, very similar to that Seiko G757 that this watch pays homage to from the Bond film Octopussy. So, the main feature of this watch is the world time feature. Now, if I angle it round a bit so we can see what's going on here, very simple to use. I've got my home time displayed here, so it's 6:44 on London time, Greenwich Mean Time. First thing is, if you want to get into the world time, you can press mode and then you jump into the world time mode. Now I've got it set up to New York City to show a clear time difference. One thing you'll notice though is if I flick all the way through back to the home time mode, again that difference in beep that you hear on a lot of Casios, you'll see that we are at 6:45 on the digital and it's set up here 6:45 on the analog. If I flick through to my world time mode now for New York City, you'll see that it's telling me that it is 12:45 p.m. in New York, but it's still showing me my home time of 6:45 London time. So that's one of the cool features of this watch. If you travel abroad, nobody's gone anywhere at the moment of course, but when we can travel abroad again, if you're wearing this, you can have your home time on here and you can have your new location time on here. And the easiest way in the world to change this time is clicking this button here, pressing this button, the search mode. Now as I press this button and scroll through, take note of the little marker moving across the world map up here. This is a brilliant little feature. You might be able to see it on the camera. So now we're going around, and as we're moving through Rio, you can see that the little marker on the map is moving to, look, we're in Lisbon now, just there, and we keep moving through and back to London mode. I think I'll set it to, we'll leave it on that time there, we'll leave it there. So brilliant little feature there, the world time mode. You've got your home time set up and then you've got your current location set up there. Just going to take it back to the home screen. There we go. So it's not just an aesthetic, there's a real purpose to this, the fact that it's got these dual time here that allow you to have different location times set up on the same watch. Now again, once you've talked about the world time feature, the rest of the features are the standard Casio features. So we go into alarm mode, which I have turned off of course. We have our timer mode and we have our stopwatch mode, and then back to the home screen. Now One of the other things that's pretty cool about this watch, and something a little bit different, is the fact that the backlight has a lovely orange glow to it. It's actually an LED backlight. It's not one of those really intense electroluminescent backlights. However, it's not a terrible LED backlight like the classic F91W. So if I can get it dark enough in here, I'll show you the backlight if it will work. There we go. Lovely orange backlight, and that's working from an LED down in this corner and an LED down in this corner. And one of the things you can do with this watch, you can still see it even with the lights on in this room, one of the things you can do with this Royale is when you are setting the time manually from the home screen, one of the functions that you can change is the length of time the illumination stays on for. I've got mine, I think, set up for 3 seconds. You can have it 1 second, 2 seconds, or 3 seconds. So again, that's a nice little feature. If you want to keep the battery from draining, have it on for 1 second, but I don't use the illumination too much, so I'm keeping it on for 3 seconds. So a really clever feature that allows you to change the amount of time the illumination stays on. So I think it's about time I got it onto my wrist. I'm just taking off my W86 that I'm still wearing pretty much every day at this moment, so I can wash my hands and have a shower without having to take it off. So I'll just show you the strap. If I pop this open, just a single point fastening on the strap. Okay, doesn't look too bad at all. Very similar look to the bracelet and case, however you can see some difference, and if you look at it through, I'm looking at it through the screen now, you can see that it does look plastic on inspection. Again, it's very lightweight, but the strap itself is very comfortable. The bracelet can be adjusted easily. There's sort of like these little slot points in here that you can poke out with a regular watch tool or even a fork. Pop those out, and when those come out there, the links just pull apart. So I took some of the links out, but the watch still didn't fit very well on my 6 3/4 inch wrists. So just down here, really clever feature, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 micro adjustments. If you look at the thickness of a bar to remove, that will change the watch size significantly. But these just allow you to fine tune it. And all you do is with your watch tool, you poke it in there, pop the spring bar out like watches would have here, of course, and then adjust it on the micro adjuster, and then use your tool to pop the spring bar back in. So there we go, Casio stamp on the case there. Now you'll notice once I put it on the wrist that because it just has this 1 point fastener on it, there we go. Okay, so I've got 6 3/4 inch wrists, and I think it really fits nicely. Very comfortable now I've adjusted the strap. I tend to wear my watches quite low down, but if I move it up a bit, you can see still a nice fit to my size wrist. But again, I think this would suit somebody with much larger wrists than I have. And if I just roll it round, you can see that because it just has a single fastening on the strap there, there is a little bit of movement just down here. Doesn't sit quite flush with the watch like a more expensive strap would fit. But again, I don't think you can moan about that at all for the price of £30 brand new. Really, really eye-catching watch. Again, like some Casios, I think it does look a little bit more expensive than what it costs, especially if you're not an expert on Casios and you just glanced at it when you were at work, or if you're in a restaurant and somebody was wearing this and you saw it. So take it back off the wrist again. There we go. Closer look at the strap. Pop this shut. Okay, so I think this is another classic piece from Casio. A really smart watch, has all the features that you need and nothing that you don't. Great little illumination on it there with that orange LED. Really smart world time feature, and it just looks absolutely brilliant too. And if you really want to, you can mod it to your heart's content. I've seen people change the straps regularly. I've seen people paint it different colours. There are different variants of the AE-1200 that you can get. You can get completely black versions. You can get khaki green versions. Lots of people that have this watch end up taking the strap off and putting a Casio rubber strap on it that fits this perfectly. If you go onto eBay and type in AE-1200 Casio, you'll see quite a lot of straps on there as well that fit this watch and were made for this watch. So if you head over to Casio watches, you'll see people on there who are sharing their pictures of their modded Casio Royale. So that's another reason to go over there if you're thinking of doing that and see what people are doing with these, or share any mods that you've made to this watch. One of the really popular mods for this watch, and again this was something I was going to do before I decided to keep it as it is once you've taken it apart, pop the module out and you've got access to the screen, maybe you've cleaned off all of this text that you don't like, people actually use different coloured, very thin film, and they place it and glue it to the back of this black frame inside here, and then that changes the colour of the screen itself. So you might have a lime green digital time here, and then a blue world map, and then a red analog clock. It's pretty much up to you what you can do with it. I saw an absolutely brilliant one on the Casio Watches group yesterday where somebody had created a rainbow effect with all the colours of the rainbow. Absolutely stunning piece, really unique. So as always, if you've enjoyed this video, and I try to keep them quite short, please drop a like and subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment if you have this watch, or you're intending to go out and buy it, or if you have it and you're going to be modding it at any point. I had somebody comment on another one of my videos the other day. It was for my showcase of the G-Shock 5510, and they said to me that watching the showcase video had pushed them over the edge to make a purchase of that watch from Japan. So that was a really nice touch that somebody bothered to message me on there and say that one of my short videos had helped them make a choice about purchasing that 5510, and that's the sort of thing I like to hear. So as always, come and join us over on Casio Watches on Facebook group. Take care and stay safe, and I'll see you hopefully quite soon. My next video I plan to make something a bit different. I've got a fake Casio that I ended up buying without realising the other day, and I'm going to be comparing that fake Casio to its genuine version, which I should have with me in the next few days. And once I get that, I'll drop a video up comparing the two watches, so stay tuned for that. So see you next time.